Alright, boys and girls, we're gonna talk about the plague, and we're gonna do it without making any cheap topical coronavirus jokes. Let's go!
China.
The year is the 1300s, and you are a peasant somewhere in Europe. Yeah, I know, rookie move. See, this puts you at a roughly 100% chance of contracting the Black Death, shortly followed by black dying, which means you're about to get a visit from a plague doctor, who will do his best to cure you using one of three equally fascinating, respected, and incorrect medical theories. There's miasma theory, humorism, and divine intervention. Let's start with... This is the end times, people. Bodies litter the streets, mothers are abandoning their children, and Metal Gear Solid 3 won't be out for another 700 years. That's like 1,000,000 years from now. There can only be one cure for this kind of calamity. Better hygiene, improved medical facilities, correcting a corrupt system that values cheap labor and easy profits over human lives. Silence, peasants. I'm talking about the Bible. People literally thought this was the apocalypse. There was a very real concern that the actual Antichrist was due to arrive any day now. A catastrophe of this scale could only be the work of God, and by the looks of things, the dude is pissed. How do we make him happy? Well, first and foremost, you gotta give all of your money to me and the church. In that order. Pray a lot. Denounce anyone who doesn't follow the word of the Lord. Are you Jewish? That's fucking cringe, my dude. Saturn, Pluto, comets, gay rights. All of these are signs of the plague and are to be avoided at all costs. Whoa there, are you trying to leave town to avoid the gay space plague? That's abandoning your holy post, and it's a paddling. Speaking of paddling, you gots to be whipping yourself. God loves that kind of shit, man. Get your friends together and march down the streets just to really make sure he can see. Too weak and frail from all that plague for self-flagellation? Don't worry, you can pay your physician to do it for you. I am a doctor. Needless to say, this did not work. Praying did fuck all because God is either fake, dead, or just a bastard. And all the self-flagellation just got plague blood all over the gaff and made matters worse for everyone. So what's a man to do when religion fails him? He turns to science. Dead bodies. They're here, and they smell bad. You know what else is here? Plague. More plague equals more bodies. More bodies equals more smell and more plague, which is bad. People who die of the plague spread the plague, and they smell. Plague is spread by bad smells. By God, he's cracked it. But how are we supposed to protect ourselves from the very air around us? Easy. Step 1. Burn the Jews again. Fire can be used to cleanse polluted air and senselessly slaughter thousands of innocent men, women, and children. Very economic. In reality, the fires didn't rid the air of evil vapors or anything like that, but they did ward off the fleas who were actually spreading the plague, so that did help. In fact, the Pope famously spent most of his time alone in a room sat between two massive fuck-off fire pits. And it worked.
Great success.
Old Clement V never caught the plague. Although it may have had more to do with the self-isolating and the comparatively sanitary conditions of the Pope gaff, but, you know, could also be God's holy flame purging the air of plague ghosts. Really, who's to say? And step 2. If you catch the plague from things that smell bad, surely you can stop the plague with things that smell good. Flowers, herbs, your favorite Twitch streamer's hair. Anything to help mask the scent of your dead family's rotting corpses. Put them in your pocket. Carry them by hand. Stuff them in your creepy bird mask thing. Turns out the cure for a painful and undignified death is to simply stop and smell the roses. If you're a fucking pussy, nah. You gotta fight fire with fire. Plague smells bad, so fight it off with things that smell worse. Eat rotten meat, cover yourself in pig shit, get your head in that toilet. I am a doctor. So, to summarize, the cure for the plague is things that smell good, and also things that do not smell good. You probably don't need me to explain what's wrong with this theory, so let's move on to something a little more solid. Or should I say, more liquid? That'll make sense in a sec. The human body is made up of 4 humors, or liquids. Yeah, that's right. And whatever's wrong with you, it's because your liquids are out of balance. The liquids in question are blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. Blood and phlegm are blood and phlegm, respectively. Yellow bile would be stuff like stomach acid and liver excrement, that sort of thing. And black bile is anyone's fucking guess. So your typical doctor's appointment would probably go something like... Dude, we got a fucking problem here, man. Your blood to phlegm ratio is way off. I'm talking way too much blood and not nearly enough phlegm. So we gotta... I think it's just... I sprained my wrist? Shh! Silence now, for I'm going to stab you many times with this knife I picked up off the floor just now and then spit in your mouth to cure your plague. I am a fucking doctor! Mr. Plague Man? Does burning Jews help balance the 4 humors? It certainly couldn't hurt, little boy! Hooray! As you may have noticed, these medical practices tend to fit comfortably on a scale of scientifically dubious to straight up anti-Semitism. And that's because these plague doctors weren't really doctors, medically speaking. In fact, it's actually impossible to dress up like a plague doctor, because if you're willing to go outside wearing a bird mask, you've basically filled all the criteria needed to be considered an actual plague doctor. Thankfully, nowadays, our doctors are well educated and intensely vetted, and when a global pandemic hits, we know that it's all actually just a media hoax perpetrated by the Democrats. Oh, fuck!